Boy, oh boy, do we have a story to tell here. I got this entire choreographed visual movie in my head about what's going down here with these energies. I don't want to bore you with my process. I can take some time to really get into the storyline and connect to spirit. So I did take a few notes. So let's begin with I guess you could say the clues associated to this reading, okay? So first we have too big for the board. So either someone thinks that they're too big for, and I'm getting like a board member, like a board, I don't know if it's a board meeting, board, like I don't know if it's a school board, board of a corporation, but there is a board. Someone is too big for this board. How are they too big? And who is saying that? Whether it's the person that thinks they're too big for that board, or the board thinks that this member is too big for the board. I'm also getting that possibly there's something that's too big for them, for the board, to deal with, to face, to tackle. It's too big for the board, like that's too much. All right, let's not hold on to that for too long. But I also heard, did I leave some here? No, I emptied it yesterday. So that was like a quick convo. Did I leave some here? No, I emptied it yesterday. Someone's leaving something, someone's questioning what they might have left. This is giving me like someone's house. Did I leave some of my, I don't know, makeup? Did I leave some of my clothes? My things here? Did I leave some here? Nope, I emptied it yesterday. So could be the trash. Somebody might have left something important and it got thrown in the trash. Who knows? Okay. Excavation, inspection, and lockdown. Those words came across. Excusez-moi. Those words came across. Excavation, almost like really going deep into the situation, taking out or looking at or trying to get to the root of a matter. So the inspection, I don't know if you're having an inspection or there's some kind of inspection going on. It's all good, but inspection and lockdown, this could be like an alarm system that goes off. So there's like a lockdown. I don't know if this is like military where they do lockdowns, like inspections, this kind of stuff. I don't know. Those three words came across: excavation, inspection, and lockdown. So consider those and how they might apply to you. Also, the Looney Tunes theme song and Disney. Disney keeps coming out, but I heard Disney and the Looney Tunes theme song. Something to do with Skittles or tasting the rainbow. Or taste the rainbow. I heard taste the rainbow. But it's also new foods, organic, your taste buds, exploration of organic foods, maybe trying different flavors. Taste buds are heightened, wanting to try new flavors. So taste the rainbow, the colors of the rainbow, all the fruits, a specific red, orange, and yellow. So bananas, oranges, apples. These types of fruits or these colors could be significant. Information value or value of information. There might be some conversation. Maybe this is what the board was considering. What is the value of information? So what value can we give this information? So you might be providing information that is of value. The value is information. Therefore, what is the value of information? What is the value of information? Let me stop. Okay. Let's see. Hands-on experience or training, builders. Something about building, working like with actual, it's not so much, I don't see so much like a construction site, but I do see building, like building things out of wood. Like, what is that? Like workshop and that kind of stuff, like hands-on, you know, mountain men, that kind of lifestyle, or, you know, hammer, axe, saw, all these kind of like earthy, like very earthy, down to earth energy. All right, so also financial services, investments and loans, benefits coordinator. I don't know if these are jobs, positions, or services that you're either providing or receiving or considering or discussing. Financial counseling, planning, logistics, purposeful redesigning, useful spaces. This is giving me like without everything combined, the builder, the financial services, maybe somebody has maybe somebody's an engineer. Oh, sorry. Maybe someone's an engineer. Maybe someone's in creating spaces. Architects. Okay, architects. I don't know why they told me. Architects. Stop it. All right, architects. The architects. Why did I just hear Aztecs also? Oh my. Architects, Aztecs. Listen, I'm just saying what's coming through. Purposeful redesigning useful spaces. I love that idea. Like making every space like really like useful, but you know, not, I guess not overkill. Okay, what is this? Heavy whipping cream? Isn't that heavy? Why did that even come through? Heavy whipping cream is not that heavy. I concur. Yes, I concur. That reminds me of the movie Catch Me If You Can, where he's pretending to be a doctor and the interns ask him, "Doctor, do you concur?" And he doesn't even know what that means. He's like, "Yes, I concur." And he's like, "You concur with what?" It was something like they didn't ask him that. He learned it from a show and applied it in that conversation in the wrong context. So the interns are confused and they're looking at each other like, "Well, what do you concur with?" "Yes, what he said. Do what he said." He's like, "Oh, okay." So maybe that's something also, like having a position but not the hands-on experience or the training or something like that, and doing it anyway. I also heard foam, inflation, but why do I keep hitting this? Sorry, I keep hitting my microphone stand. I saw it like foam, like how people injecting foam like in a tire, but I saw like purple foam. But I also saw like inflation, so I don't know if that's like I also saw it, inflation like inflammation. Let's hope not. I don't want to hear that, or somebody's, no, let's not talk about that. No, just the word. Oh, inflation, like the market? Is the market going through an inflation? I don't know. But I do see financial services, investments and loans, benefits coordinator, financial counseling and planning, logistics, something about logistics, purposeful redesigning. All right, anyways, back to, excusez-moi. Do not move from your position, please. Thank you very much. Okay. Stargazing, folks. Constellations and planets. You could be considering, or someone might be interested in learning this. Maybe they're, I don't know, if you're aligned to this reading in the first place, you probably like reading the energies of the planets, learning about constellations, stargazing, those types of things. But also I heard navigation, direction, map, path. So like knowing how to navigate, knowing the direction, having the map, knowing the path. So you could be making power moves, or you've made power moves because you know the direction you're going in. You feel like you're maybe 10 steps ahead, or you could be, or somebody could be noticing that you're 10 steps ahead, running then I don't think this is you, but running a mile a minute. Could be. Somebody could be saying you're running a mile a minute, or maybe you're just moving really fast or really quickly, or you might have had like a spurt of energy, but someone also, their mind could be running like a mile a minute, because I saw it like a lot of caffeine, like if someone on a lot of caffeine and kind of like talking really fast. Setting up the board. So the board thing came up again, but it was setting up the board. So maybe someone is setting up a board. Maybe there is it's a board being set up. Are they getting set up? Somebody's setting up the board. You know what I mean? Like, like those business takeover type things, deals that they make. They get set up. You never know. I don't know, but it's there. Setting up the board. This could simply be setting up the game board too, you know what I mean? But there's something to do with the board, folks, the board. Maybe somebody's bored. Maybe it's just boredom. Boardroom. Okay. Someone could be doing homework. Someone's doing their homework, figuring things out, getting to the bottom of things. But I heard doing some homework. Someone's been doing some homework. Someone's been doing their homework. Now, 6 years could be significant, or the number 6. And there's something about against the rule. Going like against the rule. Maybe somebody went against the rule, but that's giving more like being told what to say and then not saying it, like going against the rule. You have to say it like this, and then you don't say it like that. Going against the rule, standing your ground, even if it's the rule for something. Where to be fixed and where to be flexible. Considering where to be fixed and where to be flexible. Where should you be fixed? Like, where should you have that rule or a rule, and where can you be flexible? So maybe considering those things. The number 1111 came through. 1122 came through. Didn't we talk about 1 and 2? Or was that yesterday? I think that was yesterday. But I heard 1 and 2, and then I thought of 12, obviously. But so those numbers could just be significant. There's also this dumb-ass trend, 6-7. Listen, these trends don't come out of nowhere. They start off as something silly, but then the trend itself, it kind of takes a kind of energy of its own, and then you got to wonder, well, what's the program here? What is this program? And consider the energies of 6 and 7. Consider the Virgo house, consider it Libra house, consider consider the Lover's card, consider the Chariot card, balance, spirituality. But anyway, Also, the square. And it could be square, like the symbol square, but I heard something like on the square, but then I also saw just the symbol square. And then I thought of like a square, like somebody that is old, like in old school, they would say like they're a square, like they're a dork, they're a nerd, they're square, they're like a goody two shoes or something like that. All right, so that's enough of the notes. Let's move forward. So in this reading, there was a lot of conversation going on. Like, it wasn't just go ahead and say what's coming. It's like, no, they got things to say, a lot to say. So the way it started, let's clean it up a little bit. It started here and here, right here. 3 here, 3 here, 1 here. The main center character we have is this Emperor. Now, mind you, this entire row is in reverse. So this is indicating to me this is some maybe energies that are happening in the spiritual realm. It may not manifest yet. It may be kind of the undercurrent energies, so it's not something that's right in your face right as of yet. But the main character, we have this Emperor. Okay, this is a father figure. This is King of Kings. This is leader of all leaders, the boss. This is the man. Now he is contemplating, analyzing. Someone is bringing him insight. We have this hermit energy, okay? He's becoming aware of, he's getting insight, he's reflecting on something that occurred in the past with walking away from some, let's call them unbalanced or unmanaged emotions. Maybe relationships also. Walking away from relationships that were left kind of like, not quite right. No, we need to look at this. So this is what this hermit energy could be, a Virgo bringing information to this Emperor, saying, look, this is something that came up, and it has to do with walking away from different relationships or different situations that were not quite dealt with, because they kind of created towers. It was like destructive, or it was not. It could be also that someone leaves a trail behind of, disruptive energy, whether it's this Emperor or this Emperor's being informed of someone's past, where they leave things kind of like in chaos. Things end in chaos. Now, is this unresolved breakups? Is this friendships that end unresolved or in big old disarray? There's something not right here. So we are getting more clarity, and that's why we have the rest of these cards here. First of all, why the Emperor also showed up in the reverse position when I asked was, he's confused, folks. He doesn't know what to choose right now. He's wishy-washy, for lack of a better word. Just a little wishy-washy. He's wish and he's wash. Wash and wish. He's wishful thinking in a lot of ways, but that's neither here nor there. All right, let me stop. Emperor doesn't know what to choose. So the insight that he's receiving could be about himself, like I said, or it could be about this Empress who is also in reverse. This Empress in reverse is attached to a King of Pentacles. This story gets very interesting. So this is giving me a Empress that is, when I asked, the reason she's in reverse is because she's not independent. So her Empress status came by way of this King of Pentacles. Could be an Earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo individual that she's attached to. This could be her partner. Like, she's got this Empress status, but he's only a King of Pentacles. And the reason he's only a King of Pentacles is because he's very undecisive and he's like stuck. He can't elevate to this Emperor status. So now we have this Emperor looking forward to an Empress, but there's an Empress that I guess he's observing, or an Empress he might be interested in, who is not independent. Her status as Empress is based on this King of Pentacles. So what I'm getting is there is a Empress in reverse. This is a karmic mother figure energy who's involved with a man that is of lesser means than her or lesser status than her, but she knows how to keep up the look of Empress, even though she's technically not truly an Empress because she's not in her Nine of Pentacles energy. She doesn't have the quality of this Empress becomes Empress because she knew how to be this. She knew how to establish herself physically, economically, within herself, and able to command her reality. In other words, she didn't get it by way of someone else. Someone didn't give it to her. So in this case, this Empress is in reverse. I just heard screaming. It didn't sound pretty. Sounded like someone got hurt. But anyway. So this Empress, you know, she knows how to keep up appearances, basically. And she has her masculine, who's really kind of like not growing. They're not very happy. This is a couple that's not very happy. This couple is not very happy because of these dynamics. This Emperor is like stuck in, I'm sorry, not the Emperor, this King of Pentacles. He's kind of being asked to reflect, to awaken, to shift perspectives, to look at things clearly. He's kind of he's not looking at things the right way. He's looking at things, and that could be what has him stuck. How he looks at things. Maybe there's some insecurity factors because technically she's an Empress, and I think this is by birthright she's an Empress, but not by, it's not like she earned it on her own. Okay? It was like passed on. This giving like, you know, the family, the mother and father that build the business, and then their children inherit the business. So now by virtue of their parents, they have this wealth, this status, but they didn't really create it on their own. They didn't do the work that was necessary to build something of substance. So that is what this Emperor is observing. He's observing this connection. Now, whether he's reflecting, and there is no person bringing him information, he's just reflecting upon, shedding light on how he walked away, or how someone, maybe this Empress walked away from him, maybe he walked away from this Empress. She moved on, but it's like she downgraded, and they were not happy. And I say they were not in the past, because it seems that she called judgment on this connection. She was like, "You're not a star." She told this guy, he's not a star. There was conflict, there was competition. Maybe he was competing with her. Maybe she saw him as you know, you're not healed. You're not, you just have work, you have work to do on yourself. Like you're not, like she can see that he's stuck in some way and that they're not happy. So that's a conflict. And if it's like they lost their power, or she might feel like she lost power dealing with him, right? And also, she felt foolish for wanting to bring a love offer, or to be open to his love in a sort of way, because, or at least she thought it would be foolish to trust this person because they're like they were behaving like a king of wands with the Hierophant in reverse. It's like a false spiritualist or a hypocritical spiritual person. Okay, they were very hypocritical when it comes to what they valued, or very hypocritical. So it's like, yeah, I'm the man, I got charisma, I got charm, I got all this, but they were hypocritical, and they were there was a specific word that came through. But let's just say they were careless with their finances. They were careless with their stability. They were careless with their foundation, with their home, with the Empress. They were careless. Either they didn't value the Empress, either they didn't see the Empress for what the Empress was, either they let their insecurities of inferiority or whatever that was affect them. But I feel like the judgment, because despite the fact that this Empress was not independently an Empress, like she got her status via some other way, she was able to maintain it, right? She was able to maintain it, but being with this person somehow diminished the power that was there. And the foolish part, the part that felt foolish, was that this King of Pentacles didn't even know how to trust his own intuition. So it's like, why am I putting my trust in your hands to, like, you know, just to look the part, me and my man? You know, it's like, no, I don't want to look the part. Like, it almost feels like she feels ridiculous in this situation. So that's why she made a judgment call. So, boom, that happened, right? And also, the issue of walking away and the tower that occurred had a lot to do with deceitfulness. Deceitfulness, when this King of Pentacles was a Knight of Pentacles. This he might be a King of Pentacles now because he's matured, he's, you know, older, but she's very well aware that he was, in his youthful days, more youthful days, not very honest, not very forthcoming, not very clear about his intentions, and that caused a lot of heartbreak and a lot of disappointment and a lot of betrayal and a lot of misleading and a lot of lies. So this has to do with what occurred in the past that this Emperor is becoming either aware of, or this Emperor could have experienced. This could be the backdrop of this Emperor in reverse. His story, his history, which is what I want to clarify, because I'm getting that this is an Emperor that you have not dealt with, Divine Feminine, but he's in reverse because he's confused. He's confused because he's getting insight maybe into someone that he was involved with. Maybe he was married. Because the fact that they're both in reverse, it's indicating like they're no longer together, because obviously she's here with a King of Pentacles. So it's like a couple that was together. He might have been with someone and she moved on into this new dynamic. But then that dynamic kind of falls apart, and then he's getting kind of like insight into why that whole dynamic fell apart. And it had to do a lot with this deception, lies, and very slow, also slow moving. Like that's why, like, he's stuck. It's bringing her energy, it's diminishing her Empress kind of energy. So the storyline started to get good. That's why I was like, let me get online with you guys and share this, because now I want to conclude and get a little more. I mean, that's kind of the synopsis. So I want to know more about this Emperor and why he's looking. And in terms of this Empress, let's get more clarity as to who this Empress is to this Emperor. He once had a family with her, or wanted to have a family with her. It's like, I heard the tables have turned, but the fortunes have changed. Oh my goodness gracious, have some mercy on my soul. Yeah, Divine Feminine, I don't see you in despair anymore. Like, I think this situation, if by chance you identify as this Empress in reverse, you may have had a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of worry, a lot of, negative ideas. You're not in that space. These negative ideas, I feel like this Emperor, if this was the Emperor, and it's like, I'm getting also like the Emperor looking at the perspective of the Empress. Let's say you're the Empress and he's your Emperor. Let's say he's suggesting that you're an Empress via him, right? And you move on from him. You end up with the potential person. Now, if this isn't, let's assume that's not even a person. Let's assume this is just you trying to become independent. Because you see that the Nine of Pentacles is in reverse. The King of Pentacles is here. It's like, it's what you're doing your independence. So this Emperor might have seen you as lacking independence, lacking financial stability, being stuck and unhappy. Okay? But a judgment was made that is not, either that's not who you are, that's either that was the unhealed version of you, either that was a conflict that was put on you from focusing on stability, losing your energy, losing your status, or losing your power due to giving your affections or your love to a very foolish King of Wands energy, or a very foolish idea of spirituality even, that it meant somehow to surrender your stability, or to surrender your finances, or to surrender your power. This can go in so many ways, folks. But heartbreak and deception and, chump change isn't your thing. Like, slow stability and slow growth is one thing, but slow growth with someone who lies and betrays, and someone who's hurting, your stability in some ways by their lies or by their betrayals. It's a setback. So take the energies as you will. The judgment call was made. I do not see that the Empress is tolerating that energy again. Now, where does that leave this Emperor with this energy here? Because it seems like this Emperor wants a family. This Emperor wants stability. This Emperor wants a change, a positive change. But let's see how they work together. Well, I feel like the Emperor either has experienced firsthand betrayal, not necessarily from this situation with you, but either has understood, has a full picture of betrayal now for wrong actions and how things could be deceiving, how things are not always as they seem. So that's kind of like where he is at this point. It's like, I would say a little kind of like I don't want to say standoffish, but distrustful, not very open to love. I mean, as much as they want those things, it's almost like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. They're afraid of losing their stability, perhaps, of getting involved with something that's too heavy emotionally and demanding a lot of their energy. I feel like they're not even sure if they want to invest because they're pretty much at rest. So, Divine Feminine, I feel like you felt left out, whether that was this person didn't consider your stability, they didn't consider how they could have affected, they cast you out as if you were someone that they couldn't work with, someone that they couldn't use. Either you were too sickly or too old, or just excuses. This isn't who you are in any way, shape, or form, but they made you seem like impoverished, or they made you seem like some way your value was like not, like you didn't have the value. And that could be how you felt mentally from this relationship, or that's how you could have felt mentally from separating from the Divine Masculine. Not wanting to communicate with words anymore. It's like exhausted from speaking or exhausted from thinking. Cutting down communication because of being treated unjustly, being seen in a dark light. I feel like you're open to love. You're very much open to love with this King of Cups energy. But maybe not from, it's almost like your ability to love hasn't been diminished. Maybe your idea of this person, your desire to communicate with this person, but your ability to love has not been diminished. But there's something that's not over yet. So I don't know if this person wants to come forward and have a conversation with you, Divine Feminine. You may not be willing to invest if you suspect that this person is manipulative or lies and doesn't really speak the truth. You need to see real effort in order for there to be justice in this dynamic, in order for there to be fairness and balance. So I'll leave the message at that. I'll come back soon with another. Take care.